Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. That's right. I was in Sin City this weekend. Doing some sinning. And let me tell you, all in all, a good weekend. I did have to be pulled back. I almost got in my first fight this weekend.
Got
my first fight this
throwing
weekend.
hands too.
I was in the bathroom.
Being a full degenerate.
Oh god, a bathroom fight's never good.
I was in the bathroom in New York, New York.
Oh, you were fighting. You were fighting for your life.
I was fighting for my life.
Because
Okay,
as we
hang
all
on.
know,
Real quick.
What happens in Tyler stays in Tyler.
Unless acted upon by an outside force, and then the Tyler in motion will stay in motion.
Like coffee.
But yeah. Anyway, I was in a bathroom in New York, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been at a blackjack table for about 2 hours. So I was about 7 drinks deep.
That's how they get you.
And flannel kid steps up to the urinal next to me. There's 5 or 6 people in line at the urinals. And he asks everybody, you guys drink Bud Light?
Oh no. Oh fuck.
Okay.
Oh god.
Guy at the end goes, fuck no. Flannel kid goes, hell yeah. And I said, of course I drink Bud Light.
To be fair, that is the correct answer. Just sort of for Tyler specifically.
Well, I started walking out of the bathroom and washed my hands. And he goes, so are you a And I turned around. I'm way bigger than this guy. This is like a skinny 5'7".
Oh, Tyler, I wish you had
did you kick his ass? Did you kick his ass?
I turned around and I said, yeah, bend over, bitch. And if my cousin wasn't there to pull me away, we were probably throwing hands.
Howdy. You don't seem familiar around these parts. Around here, we do a little thing called podcasting. And me? Well, I'm the sheriff of podcasting. This is the podcast. The podcast for podcasters, by podcasters. And out here in the wild podcasts, you never know what could happen. Right here, I'm Sheriff O'Neill.
I'm big Wild West casino operator Tyler. What happens in Jegus Carcara?
Jegus? What's a Jegus?
I'm Olivia Fumiati, and my father's got the consumption.
Hey guys,
that's all I got for the intro, guys. It's gonna be this one's
This one's a weird one. This is a weird one.
This one's a weird one. It's a late night one. It's gonna be a strange episode.
Look at the 108 podcast. The fuck?
108 podcast. The fuck? It's gonna be a weird episode. It's gonna be a really a weird episode.
You're listening to the podcast in the lemur. Ow!
Chicka cow.
I'll have what she's having.
It's Jegus 427 and The Snorch in the morning.
Jegus and The Snorch.
This is nothing. All of this is nothing. This is nothing. Podcast. A podcast for podcasters by podcasters. We're here to make podcasts. We're bringing you brand new and lucrative podcast innovations. Please get more people to listen to our show. I can't keep doing this.
I'm like, get someone get paid.
Spin the wheel, O'Neill. We got enough podcasts. They're gonna take our families.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh shit! I wasn't even recording on Riverside. All
that's
right,
fine.
well, fucking goddamn.
Holy shit.
Sharing my screen. Oh shit.
Tyler Black Jack. Oh, that's a better one. Black Jack. It's my middle name's Jack. That's a better one.
Yeah.
Spin the
Yeah.
wheel.
Holy shit.
Yo, Black.
Spin the
Very funny.
Cards.
wheel. Tyler, you're going up first. What the fuck? What the fuck do you have for us?
Shh.
Woo!
I need absolute silence for
Oh,
this, or I'm
shit.
gonna lose my shit laughing.
Okay, great.
Odd once again with me,
No.
our strange duet.
I'm gonna cry, you bastard.
My power
Oh, I forgot about this.
grows stronger yet. And though you skip through me,
I forgot
to
about this.
glance behind, the phantom of the podcast is there inside your mind. Welcome to the phantom of the podcast.
Oh, God
shit.
bless.
Excellent.
This is
Fantastic.
this is a podcast ARG experience.
Oh, great. You know I love an ARG.
Oh, man.
You know I love an ARG.
I think I brought another.
Let's
bit
fucking
up,
do it.
But
Okay, great.
this is a
great.
podcast.
Fantastic.
Listen, what is the Phantom of the Opera? It is about an opera singer who takes a young opera star under his wing, despite his terrible looks, and turns her into the biggest star, in the world, while also being a terrible person. Now, this is a
Fugly Man makes Star bigger, and also it's essentially just Damien Chazelle at this point.
wow.
might
You
have
have
a
it out for that guy.
I do. I
Phantom
don't
of
like
Babylon.
that boy. All right, so this is
This is a
ARG
podcast about
experience.
a misshapen podcaster.
Oh, we're gonna take a
God.
podcaster under our
Doing
wing,
radio.
and we're gonna make them. Okay.
This is sort of. There are two directions.
How many people do we have to kill?
Okay, so here, basically, I have
bunch.
two ideas for how this goes.
Okay, yeah.
There
go
are
with-
there
let's
there
go.
are sort of two ways. The one is this is a literal ARG. Whoa! I was listening to this episode of this new podcast, and I think the podcaster got kidnapped by another podcaster on air, and we put it in the news and stuff.
Okay.
We released news releases about the kidnapping.
Okay.
We need to find this podcaster. She got kidnapped by the Phantom of the podcast.
Okay. Yes, I love
Or
this. I love this.
Second way we can go with this, and this is sort of your idea, is it's just a regular episode of our podcast, but it's like, damn, Tyler's gone. Where is he? And then I just sort of cut in as a fan and sort of ruin the podcast and sing a lot
God.
and sort of take Olivia with me under my wing to make Olivia the greatest podcaster of our generation.
And then what do I do? Do I get murdered,
No,
or
you
do I?
could be
well, like,
the.
what?
You could be the. You could
I have
be
not
the-
seen. Okay, full disclosure, have not seen Phantom of the Opera,
Wow, that's
and
impressive.
I won't get to now because it's off Broadway.
Yeah, O'Neill, you
Bye.
could watch. O'Neill, you can be the sort of the original prima donna, the original star, because he doesn't take the star of the show. He takes one of the background singers and forces her to be the star, the original star. That's O'Neill.
Okay, great. Yeah, I love this.
You guys got any
Little
notes?
talks of talent.
Lady of
Olivia, we're
I
gonna
do
get a
love.
strike.
We're gonna get a copyright strike. You're
No,
too
it's all
good. You're too
parody.
close to it.
I'm
Oh,
changing
fair.
the words. No, this was my first musical that I ever saw on Broadway, so it's very near and dear to my heart.
Okay, so if we're, I do like the ARG sort of thing. I wonder if we could press that out a little bit more. Somebody give me a rundown of what Phantom of the Opera is about.
Okay, so
It's
do
the
you
1800s.
do you want
Okay, great.
the original French version or do you want the musical version?
The musical. He's got it.
Okay.
This is about the musical.
Obviously the musical.
So-
Obviously the musical. I know a chandelier falls at some point.
Yes. So two new owners buy the Opera Populaire in Paris. It's like the late 1800s. And they buy this like failing theater from this like frazzled owner, and they decide to like make all these changes to make as much money as possible because they're basically like shysters who are trying to like make new money. And so they recognize like this one girl, and they're like, oh, that's like this famous violinist's daughter. She's very, very talented. She's taught by this like secret teacher. And an accident happens, and the prima donna leaves. She's like, I can't work like this. Fuck all y'all. And then Christine, the student, starts like entering this sort of like popularity contest with the other opera singer. Meanwhile, her like childhood friend, like high school love, is back in town. He's a duke, and like so that's involved. And
they're
she's
boning,
like,
but also there's a guy who kidnaps her every other night to take her for singing lessons.
She
and
thinks
it's
that
very
he's an angel sent by her
sexually
dead
coded.
father, and he like is like very weirdly sexual, but he's like a musical genius, and he uses her voice to like prove his genius. And
he
then
sabotages
like,
the play
yeah.
unless Christine. He's like, unless she's the lead, she's the prima donna, then. Then I'm sabotaging the play, and that's when the chandelier gets cut down at the end of Act 1, and it crashes, and everything burns down. In the end, he dies. They catch him. He's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's lock in here then. If we're gonna, I do love, I love an ARG, Tyler. You know,
I know,
love
buddy.
An ARG.
I know. That's why I did this.
I'm trying to think.
When you say
like,
ARG, you do mean alternate reality game, yes?
Yeah, not aggregate gains.
You missed the art. Not aggregated renal glands.
Aggregate gains. Not aggregate.
Not aggregate. That's all, folks.
It's nothing.
Okay, so an ARG
right,
podcast
yes.
called The Phantom of the Podcast.
Podcast. So we're okay. I think it would be better. I think this might be a good cross-promotional ARG sort of experience where we do kidnap a podcaster from their podcast.
That's what I was also
and
thinking.
then bring them to our podcast to train
We're
them.
all
And
three.
maybe
We're
this
the
is a
phantoms
series.
of the podcast.
We're the phantoms of the podcast. Exactly. So who would we kidnap and then sort of drag onto our show?
Could
Dax
we
Shepard.
Could we get Dax Shepard?
Dax Shepard. No, Dax Shepard is like
he's the prima donna already.
Who's like an up and coming.
Who is the least
like
famous
a
person on
background
Smartless?
podcaster?
Hang on. Hang on. Let me do it.
Ira Glass.
Smart.
We just keep.
They're already. They're too famous. It needs to be.
They're already too good. We have to.
Hang on.
Like
Hang
an
on. I've got it.
Hanging on. Okay.
It's Jamie from the Joe Rogan Experience. Jamie, pull up the clip. That guy. I think this is Craig Horlbeck in the town. This is Craig.
Okay, that's what I was. That's where I was going to go with
producer
this.
Craig.
Can we kidnap Craig?
Producer Craig.
Or can we kidnap? Who's the producer for The Big Picture? Who's like closer to our age?
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby. Can we kidnap Bobby from The Big Picture? These are all great. Okay, so we need to find a set of podcasters or podcast producers, I guess, that we then make mainstay podcast hosts through our. So what sort of like torturous things does the Phantom of the Opera use to get our star
She's
to
sort of into
shine?
it. Here's the thing, though. She's sort of
Yes.
into it. He does.
She's
the
very
bit,
much-
He sabotages the play until
Yeah.
she's the lead, though, which means we can sabotage the other
Okay,
podcast.
so we have to sabotage the podcast until the okay. Interesting. This is gonna be a hard one to make, Tyler. I'm gonna let you know that straight off the top, down, bottom.
Mr. Kirkard goes to Monaco, but I feel like
The way that you when you pitched this, I thought this was going to be like, okay, I'm seeing this from a fan fiction point of view. I know like an ARG is like very similar to the alternate universe tag in a fan fiction, and this is just an alternate universe where instead of the opera populaire, it's the podcast, the opera populaire, and
Okay.
and
I'm
we
with
like
it.
you know you guys are like the big funny men, and I'm the rookie, and yeah, I don't know, like then we basically do Phantom of the Opera.
Okay. So you're thinking more narrative.
Yeah. I was thinking of it more like narrative sort of style, in like a retelling, like a Lizzie Bennet Diaries kind of situation, but it's the Phantom of the podcast, the Podpera.
Phantom of the podcast. Okay. Can we use this to solidify the PPPCU? Is there a way we could bring in all podcasts into this operatic podcasting
Sort of,
space to create this fan
how
fiction?
in Wreck-It Ralph goes out of the court as out of the court. It's a video game. And it's sort of a video game nexus where all the video game characters hang out.
X Arcade.
Can this
We're
be
in the
said
podcast
sort of a
nexus.
podcast?
So the Phantom of the Pod.
You don't want to go over there. That dark room. That's where Jordan Peterson podcast.
That's where we keep the Ben Shapiro podcast. So Phantom of the podcast breaks the internet is what you're sort of suggesting now. I'm with it. I think we would need to hammer out a little bit more of the fiction to get it to work, but I'm kind of down for it. Let's talk show then and structure. Like what is this? What's a comp? Give me a comp.
That's a good point.
Is this like
This is more of this is like a narrative.
Hello from the Magic Tavern?
I think it's more of it's sort of a Hello from the Magic Tavern, but it's
Welcome to Night Vale?
more of a
Yeah, I
more
was thinking
narrative.
more of a Night
yeah,
Vale.
more Welcome to Night Vale.
Okay.
More. There are a lot of narrative podcasts.
Interesting.
I really don't know much about ARGs, so I want.
I know a lot about ARGs.
like-
It usually requires audience participation. You have to build a website. You usually like find the clues. We hide the clues.
Okay, so
in the,
is this like a Cloverfield kind of thing?
that's the ARG that I know best, which is the Cloverfield ARG.
Oh, okay. So instead of like this narrative thing, it's more of like a conspiracy, like a Blair Witch.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
can we
Okay,
break?
but a
So we'd have to
podcast.
break into one of the other podcasts, kidnap one of the people that we want to sort of bring up to in their episode, and then I think I found the angle for this. I think this is podcast pirating podcast X, sort of the crumble. Like we're building out this like fiction where we both break into another podcast to do our phantoming and then sabotage it sometimes, and then also we on the side are erotically training our future podcast.
I have an idea.
We're erotically training Kirk Horlbeck from
God.
this.
Sorry, podcast daddy. Yeah. But so, okay. So
What a specific person to
I have an
request a
idea,
reference.
and I don't know if this is something we want to include, or if this is like a writing room thing, that we could like do a week where, like, even like this week, we'd be like, okay, we'll be back to you with not the podcasts of the opera or the Phantom of the podcast, and we're like, okay, we'll be back to you with Snorch and Jegus in the morning, and then we like start doing
coming to you live.
Jegus and Snorch in the morning, and then Phantom of the
That's
the
my
podcast.
And then somebody
That
gets
is
got.
very-
So
Okay,
it's
I
kind of
like
like
that. I
a
like that.
surprise
I'm
for
with
the
it. I'm with
audience.
it.
So we would cut this.
That would
part
be
that we're
kind of a
gonna-
fun ARG.
That's
thing.
okay. That is perfect. That is perfect. If we ever have this is perfect, Tyler. I'm sorry to relegate this. This is not deliberation, so this isn't necessarily fair, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is not a McGullen, but it is the closest thing we have to a McGullen for a B segment, which is if we're not feeling a B segment, we could just pull a Phantom of the podcast and then go into that.
No, and let's just think, it's not a McGullen. I think it's a great idea. There's just a lot.
It's a MacGuffin. It is a
MacGuffin.
true MacGuffin in the truest sense of the word.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you
That's
know what? I
great.
think
That's
fine.
great.
I think that's
Yeah.
the energy I have tonight, the energy I wanted to bring to the studio today.
Excellent.
And it is Phantom of the podcast.
The Phantom of the Podcast.
Let's do name. Let's do title.
Phantom of
Can
the
we punch that up at all?
Podcast.
let me just fix Andrew Lloyd Webber's great work. Hold on.
Could it be?
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, for sure.
And though you skip from me to listen to Smartless.
Although you turn
Well, that's
me
just-
out of range of your mic. I can't hear what the fuck you're saying. Please turn your mic towards your
Please,
mouth.
no eating on the mic.
Those who have seen your face draw back in fear.
That one we don't even have to change.
I am the mask you wear. It's
Podcast
me.
you wear. It's me you
they
hear.
hear. It's Jegus and Snorch in the morning.
Jacob and Snorch in the morning. Okay, that's great.
Can the name of this episode be Snorch and Jegus in the morning?
Snorch and Jegus in the morning. Let me write it down. Have you produced live? Title, please. Something, anything.
Phantom of the podcast. Let's just leave it.
I like
Sometimes
Phantom of the
first one's best
podcast. It does the podcast and it gets the idea of Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, Phantom of the podcast. Calling it there.
I think it gets the idea across.
All right. I still don't know what I'm pitching, so we'll see if I'm going next. But for now,
Snorch
we're
and
spinning.
Jegus in the morning.
Snorch and Jegus in the morning. Clearly. Oh, it's so.
Oh, I'm not gonna last
That would be
this
a
week. I'm so
card.
excited. Excellent. All right.
All right.
I have been in a really good mood these past couple weeks, which is very exciting
yeah.
for me.
Yes.
And thus
Spring is
I
sprung.
have also
And the Fumiati household.
enjoyed doing things again, which is
yeah,
very
hell yeah.
exciting.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that I missed doing when I was being sad was having a hobby that I could do with my hands. And this is sort of a kind of a documentary kind of style, but it's a 1 week thing.
Okay.
And it's also a Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
This was inspired by a TikTok series. But do you guys remember earlier this year, there was a guy who made this viral video on TikTok where he was riding a coal train through the Sahara?
No. What?
Okay.
No.
So he
Why do we have such different For You pages?
But this guy, he does crazy travel stuff. And when he got back to the States, he wanted to try every hobby until he found the one for him. And so
Okay.
I thought that we could do something similar in a Brussels sprouts type style where we pick a hobby that we could realistically learn how to do at least the beginnings of in a week and then report back on our new hobby at the end of the week. It doesn't have to be a daily check-in thing, but
That's
I
really nice.
recently got back into making friendship bracelets and shit and got into origami again and just other little hobbies that I missed doing. And I know we're all very busy and we all work a lot, but I think working with your hands has really, it's proven to have benefits and stuff for you, and it's good for your mental health, which I'm all about. And so I thought it would be fun
I like this. This is very
to learn how to do something.
I like this, Olivia. Can I present a title?
Yeah, dog.
Hobby Lobby's Good Christian Podcast.
Oh no. No.
Hobby Lobby
Hobby Lobby
presents
hates
Snorch
your
and
uterus.
Jegus in the morning.
Hobby Lobby presents Snorch and Jegus in the morning. No. I love it. So it is specifically a crafts pod. It is
Not necessarily.
a podcast.
It is a making pod. It's very making it because
We can paint
yes, I have my arts and
miniatures.
crafts. I have also been working on miniatures for I got contracted to do this for a game shop, but I have all these tiny
nice.
little details for
Tiny little guys.
little a miniature building that I'm working on. And I just have dozens of little cans that I made out of plastic tubing. And
I'm going to try and make
could be
gnocchi this week. I
crafty.
can make pasta, homemade
Yeah,
pasta.
I'm saying cooking, making pasta for
Cooking.
the first
Okay,
time,
okay.
or a
Let's-
garden, or
This
something.
sounds
that,
really
you
nice,
can
and I
do.
want to do it.
Yeah, I just thought that would be a nice.
So it's it's
spring. We're all doing something new, and I don't give a shit about being good at it. If you wanted to start bullet journaling, or you wanted to try a new meat, cooking or gardening or I don't know, journaling or taking a daily walk. I don't know if that's a hobby, but people do it. I don't know. People run marathons for a hobby.
Okay.
So that sort of
we
thing.
need to take all of these concepts and put them into one
Podcast.
idea. What is one podcast, which is
Hobby Lobby presents.
Hobby Lobby presents Get Your Hobby On. Get your lobby on. Get your. Can we also? Can we also turn
Can we
this?
call it the lobby hobby?
Can we also?
Can we also turn this into a lobbyist sort of thing, where it's you create things with your hands, and then also
I
you
pitch?
Political-
write to your representative.
I'm making quilts to convince you to
Yeah,
vote.
exactly.
The lobby.
Can we-
Wait, hang on. The lobby hobby. We're lobbying for you guys to pick up new hobbies.
Ooh,
lobby
the
hobby.
lobby hobby.
Ooh. Ooh,
The lobby hobby I like. Okay. I like this. So what is the episode to episode sort of structure?
So it would be like 1 week, or it could be a continuation depending on, it's kind of almost like a Paddington 2 sort of situation where it's like you try something for a week, and if you decide that you like it, you continue it and you give like progress updates if it's a hobby that you want to continue. Or if there's something new you want to try that week, you like give the lessons of that. It's sort of like, you know, it's like a sampler of things if you want to try something new every week or every couple of weeks. But it's like, you know, we're adults, and sometimes people are like, oh, you're an adult, it's hard to find new hobbies as an adult because you're not like doing theater with school or doing like a club sport like you were when you were a kid. And it's just like something good, like if you wanted to start like woodworking, like you know, that sort of thing.
Okay, I do love this, Olivia. I love how wholesome it is, but I am motivated by punishment and the fear of God. So what do we do if we don't do it? What happens to us if we don't do it?
Then you don't make an episode. And that's the fear. You don't put out an episode in time.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good point.
Well, that's just kind of my general background fear for this show in particular. So maybe is there a different one?
I mean, then Tyler and I get to learn a fun new hobby, and you get to keep doing whatever you're fucking doing with your sad sack.
Hang on.
I don't know.
If you don't pick up a new hobby, you have to go spend money at Hobby Lobby.
Oh, and then I'm money's
I'm actually going to draw the line. I will not be. I have never stepped foot in a Hobby Lobby. I will never step foot in a Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby is in Los Angeles,
and I will not be. I will not be provided. I will not be. No, absolutely not.
Okay, let's.
I would rather you donate money. You have to donate money to a charity for like kids in the arts.
You
like,
have to wear a pair of mittens knitted by one of us.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you have to wear an article of clothing that we have made.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so let's nail down sort of form and structure as far as like what each segment would be, because I think a discussion pod would be nice, but I think
it feels like a wonderful.
It does feel like a wonderful.
Okay, all right,
like
active.
Wonderful, but instead of just bringing stuff you like, we're bringing a hobby we tried this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just wondering, is there like, can we push the envelope slightly at all? Is there anything else we could sort of like?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh.
Stamp collecting. Calligraphy, all part of pushing the letter.
Oh no! Can't you have something? Oh no! Look me in the fucking eyes.
Okay.
Look me in the eyes. Look me in the fucking eyes.
Okay.
Just let this one be nice.
No.
Okay? Just let this one be.
I'm an
nice
agent
time.
of chaos. My purpose on this planet is darkness and chaos. I need to push my reign.
Then
I
bring
need to
that
push
to
my
the
reign.
Because this one's just gonna be a nice.
Okay,
time
okay,
for
wait,
me and
wait.
Olivia, and I'm
You're
gonna
writing
make
poetry,
homemade
O'Neill.
gnocchi.
I don't know.
Okay, I've got it. I think it would be fun if you two were bringing nice, gentle crafts, and I was playing my own sort of crafts game, and I brought that energy to the show.
I learned how to sing metal. Ooh, ata ita, uta, ooh, ata ita.
I got into a little bit of BDSM this week. I'm going to tell you about butt stuff. You ever have your anus plural?
I learned how to do origami. I learned how to use a woodchuck.
I learned how to put something in my penis. Uh-oh.
Jesus. We're the Try Guys, but good and podcast, and not like a tripod, but like we're actually trying things on the pod.
We're trying things on the pod. All right, I'm with it. I think if we sort of expand it out so that way it gets a little bit more devious at least on my end.
You can have your devious crafts.
Yeah, devious.
I mean, that could be the bit, right?
Yeah.
I braised a short rib this week, and you're like,
I slaughtered a goat with my hands and watched the life drain from its eyes.
I had a rusty nail shoved under my fingernail while a girl told me that I was useless.
And you know what? I feel immensely rewarded by that experience.
All right, lobby hobby. Are we still with that?
Give it a try. The lobby hobby.
The lobby hobby. The lobby. Wait, let me make sure that's not a thing real quick. Oh, wait. Uh-oh.
Oh, is it McGullen time?
It might be. Welcome to the Lobbies of Hobbies podcast. Okay, never mind. This thing is non-existent. We're good.
Thank God I didn't have another idea.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but there is a show called Phantom of the Podcast, but They only released 10 episodes, and it was just a fan show about Phantom of the Opera. And
this also
releasing
falls
episodes
into
in
our
2017.
rule of 2020 podcast because it started in June of 2020 and ended in December of 2020. So any podcast that was created in 2020 does not count.
Yep. Unless it is currently still airing.
Unless it is currently still going. Yes. Okay. Great. The Lobby Hobby podcast.
I don't know how I feel about the name. We might come back to it in
circle back in
deliberation,
deliberation. That's
just
fine.
because I really don't know if I want that sort of brand affiliation. Like, I know we joke that we're a good Christian podcast, but I don't want like that kind of good Christian, big heavy air quotes podcast.
All right. Hello and welcome. I'm Roman Mars. Light pierces through all. It allows us to see things and reflect. But what happens when it goes through? I'm Roman Mars, and welcome to 100% Invisible, an invisibility discussion podcast.
I'm so confused.
Roman Mars has finally completed his podcast journey.
His podcast
his podcast is finally finished loading. And now he has 100% Invisible. Listen, Violet from The Incredibles, Susan Storm. Invisibility permeates our culture and our life. And it's time to talk about it. Hello, and welcome to 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. I'm Roman Mars.
Is this like Kingdom? Is this like Kingdom Kong, but with invisibility?
But with a more attainable host, baby.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hang on, wait.
Full disclosure, no idea who this man is that you were talking about.
It's okay.
Roman Mars.
I'm gonna Google him
He's
right
a very
now.
famous podcaster.
Is he?
I'm surprised he's never come up before.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
This is
podcast.
sort of the last sort of tenet of podcasting that we haven't touched
Hold on,
yet.
I'm going to his Squarespace.
He was
website.
also on Dear Hank and John, with
okay.
both Hank and John. He was actually on this week's episode, which is strange because I did not plan on pitching it this week.
Okay.
As
I
you pitch
understand
it.
the joke now. Very funny. I'm reading it
For
right
those
now.
who don't know, because this is actually a pretty niche podcast joke
Can
that
I
just
read the
made.
description off of his website?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Roman Mars is the host and creator of 99% Invisible, a sound-rich narrative podcast about the unnoticed architecture and design that shape our world. Okay,
Yeah.
I know of this guy.
Yes,
With approximately
yes.
500 million downloads. Okay, don't really give a crap.
Yeah, none of that matters. We get it, Roman Mars.
It is a good podcast.
It is a very good podcast.
Yeah, so he
I do have
co-authored a book about it.
I do actually have two different versions of this, and we can sort of decide and riff on which ones we want to do. So for those of you who don't know, the premise of 99% Invisible is like things that you interact with on the daily that you don't.
Curb cuts, the little curbs that like flatten
Dip
out
into
in
the
the
road,
corners,
yeah.
and like the history of those and how
Yeah,
they're
the mouse
push-pull
icon.
handlebar.
rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot about
Stuff like that.
a lot about like things that you interact with on the daily that you may not think about, like who designed the mouse icon, all that stuff.
Okay.
Can I pitch you? Can I pitch? I see the angle you're taking with 100% Invisible.
I have two angles.
Okay.
We can keep Roman Mars, but I think the angle this needs to go is it needs to stay intellectual. It needs to be a parody of 99%.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Regardless
Yeah,
of what it is, it stays a parody of 99% Invisible.
I think it's a discussion of different. It's a discussion of invisibility in media.
That is definitely one part of it, and I think it'd be
it's
very
funny
funny
because we're just voices. So
yeah,
works
so we
very
are
much
also
for
100%
us.
Invisible. The other thing, the other angle for this, and I don't know how you guys would feel about this, is that it does have cryptid a little bit, which is things that are in the not real world insofar as just like we just start going off on like 99% Invisible. We take a fact, but we choose something that's like not of this world, and we sort of do a whole 99% Invisible episode about like the sky people and how they
Astrology.
are not even that, like the lizard folks who control
like conspiracy
yeah,
theories and
conspiracy
cryptids and
level,
stuff.
like
Okay.
100% Invisible. And then we do get Roman Mars on the show. Olivia, mind calling Roman Mars real quick? It is 9:00 p.m.
Yeah, let me check his contact.
I don't.
page.
Does he live in L.A.?
I don't know,
Content.
actually.
Hi.
I
I feel like he
send him an
does.
email.
I've
Oh,
listened
that's
to a lot of
the
his
newsletter.
stuff. Anyway, so those are the two angles. We could either do we could do a parody of
I
99%
could I could put a request into his website.
Yeah,
It's
please.
like a message thing. Okay.
Yeah, please do. Hey, Roman. Here, let's bang out this as part of the episode. Hey, Roman. It's your pals, O'Neill, Olivia, and Tyler.
You remember us?
You
from
remember
the
us
podcast
from the podcast.
You remember us? Formerly the star hosts of Snorch and Jegus in the morning.
No, don't put that in there. I do want to actually try to get him on the show, but this is funny. Snorch and Jegus in the morning. We were wondering if you wanted to come on our show, our latest podcast innovation. Sorry, our latest podcast innovation, 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. Period. Now, I know this is presumptuous to already include you in the title of the show, but we think we would have a lot of insights on invisibility. Period.
I'm still at 100% invisible.
Invisibility. Period. Lizard folks. Period. The secret society that pulls the strings behind the scenes of our world. Period. Air? Question mark? What other invisible things can we sort of talk about? Audio, sound.
Harry Potter's quilt.
Harry Potter's quilt. Podcasts, which are kind of podcasts, comma, which are kind of invisible because you can't see them if you think about it. Thanks, Roman. Always great to talk with you. Love, your besties. Tyler, O'Neill, Olivia. This is so fucking stupid, guys.
Hey, Roman. It's your pals, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. You remember us from the podcast?
Our newest.
Hang
Oh,
on.
yes,
If
please.
you would be interested,
We were wondering if you would be interested on appearing on our show 100%.
Innovation.
Our new
Yes, please.
hold on, our new podcast innovation, 100% Invisible with Roman Mars.
hang on. Wait, before you continue, should we be using the word appearing?
Hosting.
Yeah, well,
Appearing. Wait, no, but appearing. It's 100% invisible. Do you catch where I'm going?
Here, we'll see appearing.
Oh, yeah, put it in quotes. Put it in here.
Quotes. I'm gonna put it in quotes. Okay, all right, hold on. Okay. So, hey, Roman, it's your pals, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. You remember us from the podcast. We were wondering if you would be interested in appearing, quote, on our new podcast innovation, 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. I know what you're thinking. This seems very similar to my podcast, 99% Invisible. But this show is different. We want to talk about invisibility, lizard people, and the hidden things in our world that make it go round. Air? Question mark? Harry Potter's invisibility cloak and podcasts, which really are invisible if you think about it. Always great to talk with you. Love your breakout podcast friends, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia.
The only addendum I want to add is that instead of it being similar to his podcast, just being like, we know it's presumptuous to say that, that to have you on our show.
Already be using your name in the title. But we were so sure you would want to be involved. We were so sure you want to be involved that we went ahead and trademarked.
Yes.
Okay.
God bless this pod. Let me write that down.
Okay. All right. Hey, Roman. It's your pals, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. You remember us from the podcast. We were wondering if you would be interested in, quote, appearing on our new podcast innovation, 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. We know it's presumptuous to already be using your name in the title, but we were so sure that you would want to be involved that we went ahead and trademarked the name. This show is different. We want to talk about invisibility, lizard people, and the hidden things in our world that make it go go around. Air, question mark? Harry Potter's invisible invisibility cloak and podcast, which are 100% invisible if you really think about it. You like to think, and we like that you think. Always great to talk with you. Love for your breakout podcast friends, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. I'm going to put your
Put PS,
Yep.
if you forgot us, here's our website, https://www.website.biz. And then parentheses, yes, we promise it's a real website.
Real website, and will 100% not give you a Trojan
No, don't put that. He'll never click on our website.
Do we own realpodcastgod.com?
No, but we will now.
I don't want to pay for it.
No, we don't.
Too
We
late.
don't have
I
to. We don't have to.
already
We don't
bought
have
it.
to.
I'm buying
Cut
it
it. Cut it.
now.
Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it.
Too late. No, we already said it. You already said it on the podcast.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
buying
No,
it
you
now.
can cut it from.
It's going to cost me $12. Realpodcastgod.com. Oh, you can get actual podcast god too. Let me just go shopping real quick. Buy that.
What should the subject line be?
100% invisible with Roman Mars.
Yeah.
How many years should I buy it out? 10 years?
Website up. 5 should be fine. Website,
5, you said? That's 60 bucks. $60 per website. Oh, I also picked up actual podcast god. Do we think we need that one? I'll buy that one for 2 years.
Man.
Actually, I'll just buy each one for 1 year, and we'll just set it to auto renew.
I gotta tell you, my prediction in the pod recently turns out that it's to come true that this is just us, this podcast.
Harassing C-list celebrities. Yeah. All right. We've been having a lot of fun on the pod. Do we want to hammer out, in case our good friend Roman actually does respond, do we want to hammer out literally anything else about this podcast?
No, I think we need to go in with the barest of minimum.
All right, blind. All right, fine.
Hold on. Should we say we're not crazy like conspiracy theorists? We just want to talk about it.
Yeah, we're not crazy conspiracy theorists. We just like your show.
We want to do a
PPS
parody of it with you because that would be very funny.
Yeah, PPS. Good job on the Hank and Green podcast. Love you, Dad. Don't put love you, Dad. Don't put love you, Dad. He's gonna
love you, Papa.
Hey, Roman, it's your pals O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. You remember us from the podcast. We were wondering if you would be interested in, quote, appearing on our new podcast innovation, 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. We know it's presumptuous to already be using your name in the title, but we were so sure that you would want to be involved that we went ahead and trademarked the name. This show is different. We want to talk about invisibility, lizard people, and the hidden things in our world that make it go round. We don't really believe in any of this stuff. We just want to talk about it with you. Air, Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, and podcasts, which are 100% invisible if you really think about it. You like to think, and we like that you think. Always great to talk with you. Love your 2022 breakout podcast friends, O'Neill, Tyler, and Olivia. P.S. If you forgot us, here's our website, website.biz. Yes, we promise it is a real website. PPS, great job on to your Hank and John. Really good stuff. They're out on the court. And submit.
Great stuff out there.
I'm good. I'm definitely posting a clip entitled "Our Email to Roman Mars."
All right, I think we've had a lot of fun out here. We've had a lot of fun out here in the court. I do believe it is time to go.
For deliberation.
Well, let's do a quick recap first so people know what the fuck we did today. Because I don't remember, if we're being honest. Tyler?
All right, Jegus, you go first.
Thanks, Snorch.
Am I the morning? You guys are in my...
You're in the morning.
Jegus Snorch.
Jegus Snorch in the morning. Jegus Snorch might be my poor name.
My uncle passed recently. I'm actually in mourning.
Jegus and Snorch in mourning.
Jegus and Snorch in the morning.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tyler, what podcast did you pitch?
I pitched the Phantom of the Podcast. It's a podcast about the Phantom. He's coming for you. He's coming for your podcast. He's living in the podcast nexus, and he's going to make you a star.
Oh, great. Fucking love that, dude.
All right. And I pitched Lobby Hobby, a podcast in which me and my friends pick up a new hobby for the week and let each other know how it goes in a wholesome and true attempt to improve ourselves and to work with our hands in a busy, busy world.
And I pitched 100% Invisible with Roman Mars, which will definitely 100% have Roman Mars in and on it. And it's a discussion about everything that's behind the scenes that you can't see because it's not visible. And it has Roman Mars in it. He's coming to hang out with us boys. Thanks, Roman, in advance. I know it's time to go to deliberation.
What happened this episode?
What did we
This episode
do?
is unhinged.
What did we do? It's too late.
This is late night energy with Jegus and The Snorch.
Jegus and The Snorch, bringing it to you live. God.
With
I guess we're gonna pick.
Delilah.
We've already recorded so much. We've recorded so much podcast.
We've recorded so much podcast and we've cut so much podcast because like 90% of that has to be cut because it's just dead air and bad jokes.
I had to read the email like 4 times. So
Yeah.
we were good. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a couple minutes. All right.
Listen, the Phantom of the Podcast. Let's just table it for
Yeah,
now.
we'll table that. That's I
Let's put it in
that.
box 5 and
Yeah.
let it sit until it decides to drop a chandelier on a podcast that we think isn't going so well. Like you're editing and you're like, I don't think this can be saved, and
This
we're
is
like,
nothing.
we know a guy.
Yeah. I do love
might happen
I do
this
love
time.
how
We just
Tyler has been,
hijacked the episode.
I do love how Tyler has been crafting utility pods with the Epod tab and now this one, which is just like, all right, if we end the show, sure, and if we decide we need a revamp, sure. Oh, God bless. God bless. God
It's
bless.
like a last minute, it's like an last minute McGullen.
Yeah.
The McGullen of the podcast.
Truly. All right. So that leaves the Lobby Hobby and 100% Invisible with Roman Mars. All right. I want to have this is what I want the rest of this pod to be. An open and honest discussion with you two boys, my best friends and podcast co-hosts. Do we think we can get Roman Mars?
With that email?
No, not with that email. But like, if I reach out, do you think I could pull enough strings?
If you knew enough people, if you like knew the right people, I guess
I might
this
know
could
the right
probably
It's a
people is
get
the
funny
around.
problem.
enough idea that I think we could get him to at least record some voice
That would
dialogue
be
for
very
us.
funny. And the worst case scenario, we pull a Glassies.
Oh no, that's brutal. Okay,
That
hold
is.
on. Cameo.
How much does he cost? We must find out.
Searching for Roman Mars. Hold on.
Oh, he's not on there. Damn.
No,
sucks.
that's so sad.
All right.
All right. Do we want to be serious
We
for a
gotta do
second?
the lobby. I think we got to do the Lobby Hobby unless we get a very good email back from Mars.
Can we table it until Friday?
I think I can't record Friday.
Oh, no. When are we going to record next? Saturday?
Here's the problem. This will get Claire's mom is coming and she's staying in my podcast recording space.
Oh, good.
And
What's Claire's mom's name?
yeah, it
What's
wasn't
Claire's mom's name?
Andy.
Andy.
All right.
Sorry, gotta work from home. That's just how things are.
Yep. Come on.
You can put the air mattress in the other room for a couple hours. Jegus has got to get his work done. You have to respect the artistic process.
Where's Tyler? He goes by Jegus.
Last week it was J-Town. This week it's Jegus. J-Town is really Jegus. Lost Jegus.
My name is now Jegus Snorch. Claire, your new last name's your new last name's gonna be
Snorch.
Snorch.
Claire the
You
Snorch.
Jegus Snorch, take this one.
And we'll be back to you with either Lobby Hobby or Jegus and The Snorch or
or
friends of the podcast, or if for some godforsaken, twisted reason Roman Mars gets back to us, we'll be back with 100% Invisible.
We're just spinning the wheel on this one this week,
Yeah.
guys.
This one's
We deliberated and we chose all of them.
we deliberated and decided it was bedtime.
yeah. We deliberated and decided it's past my sleepy hour. Okay, for real talk for a second. Do we want to decide on one of these?
We
didn't do a lot of work on any of these, if we're being really honest, guys. We kind of shot the
No,
bed.
we just did
We kind of
bits.
just did
Kinda
jokes.
just
This
did
one was
bits.
oops all bits for real. Yeah. Is Jegus and The Snorch anything?
What if we come back? What if we actually come back at Jegus?
Okay.
I'm literally lightheaded. I can't even.
I pee
Oh shit. Okay, audience. If we don't get Roman Mars, we'll be back to you with Jegus and The Snorch in the morning.
This week's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Microsoft 365. Their classic business solutions will satisfy even the brattiest sub. With Microsoft Excel, you can track your side hose and your main hose. Create incredible presentations in Microsoft PowerPoint to make sure that every client turns into your filthy little cum dumpster. Even your most
We're gonna get in trouble.
Even your most emo, big titty goth girlfriend will crack a smile while using our services. Use code BBC to unlock 10% off your order of Microsoft Office 365.
God damn it.
We guarantee Microsoft will make you macro hard like it did to us.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And again, disclaimer that we're not sponsored or any way involved with Microsoft Office or 365, but do check out our website.biz. It's where we post a lot of our information. We also have all the social medias, TikTok, Instagram. We're not really using the Twitter as much, but we're on all the socials at Triple
We are paying for Twitter Blue.
But we're not paying for Twitter Blue. I fucking refuse.
yeah, we have that.
Tyler,
We actually
but
have the gold check mark that costs
we have
us.
the gold check mark, exactly. Elon Musk is paying for our Twitter Blue.
Yeah,
Thank
Elon
you.
Musk listens to our podcast.
Big fan
Out
of
of
the
his own
show.
pocket, apparently. But please go ahead and rate. He loves.
I don't know what it is, but he loves the Virtual Horse podcast.
Yeah, it's his favorite. It makes him laugh. He says it makes him laugh every time, and it was like
he says it makes him a lulz.
Yeah, and we were like, it wasn't supposed to be that funny, Elon. Like it was more of like a
Every
dramatic
week he gathers
thing. Yeah.
Grimes and Kyle around and they listen to the podcast.
But also go ahead and please, if you don't mind, rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Google Play, or Apple Podcasts now. I don't know why I keep on saying iTunes. Spotify. Reply to our podcast episodes. That's so funny.
Please, we're begging
when
you.
you reply, like, what a podcast. Good podcasting. It's very
If you
funny.
hear
It does
this,
help
if
us
you're
grow
hearing
our
this, leave your
numbers.
grandma's pancake recipe.
Yes,
Yeah,
leave your grandma's pancake recipe on this
on this
episode. Please, that'd be great.
And share it with your friends. Tell your
Yeah,
friends.
please.
Hey,
Word of mouth is the best way
we
to grow.
have there's this new episode out. it's unhinged.
Jeez, maybe not this one. We'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
not this one. We'll have to see at this B segment. All right. So without, I can't believe this. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, and they thems of all ages, please enjoy Jegus and The Snorch in the morning.